Good afternoon, everyone. Today we'll go for the anatomy of a testis. Okay, testis is a male reproductive organ. Okay, and it is also say as a testis is also called as a testicles. Are two oval shaped organs in the male reproductive system. They are contained in a sac of skin is called as a scrotum. Scrotum hangs outside the body in front of the pelvic region near the upper thigh. Okay, the testis is a male reproductive organ. Okay, present in the scrotum. Okay, scrotum is nothing but it is a sac of skin. Okay, they are two in number and they are oval in shape. Scrotum hangs outside the body in front of pelvic organ near the upper thigh. Okay. In Latin, testis, it means that witness. I don't know why it is say as a witness. Okay. Or also testament. Testament you can take during in court and like that. Testis means in Latin witness. Okay. We can go for the next slide. Okay, introduction. In that, first you know the what is a scrotum. Okay, scrotum, it is nothing but a sac of skin. Okay, and that contain a testis. Okay, and it is hangs outside the body in front of the pelvic region near the upper thigh or medial side of the thigh. Okay, the scrotum is a cutaneous bag containing the right and left testis, epididymis and lower part of the spermatic cord. The externally the scrotum is divided into right and left part by the ridge or one raphe. Okay, ridge is there which continues forwards to the under surface of the penis and backwards along the midline of the perineum to the anus. Okay, you can see here in this picture. Okay, this is a raphe or a ridge. You can say this is a median ridge. It is continuous from the penis and continuous up to the what anus. Okay, and this is a say as a median raphe. This divides the right and left what scrotum or a testis. Okay, it is a median raphe. The skin of the scrotum. Okay, now we can go for the skin of the scrotum. The skin of the scrotum is thin, wrinkled and pigmented and forms a single pouch or forms a sac. A slightly raised ridge in the midline that indicates the lines of fusion of two lateral labiosacral swellings. You can see here, this is a labiosacral swellings. Okay, and this is a raphe, like that it is a form. Okay, we can go for the next line. These are the layers of the scrotum. Okay, you know that the testes are descends. Okay, from the abdomen to the scrotum because of mainly by the contraction of a juberculum, hormonal effect, increase intra-abdominal pressure because of the process vaginalis. Okay, and another one is the to maintain the temperature. Okay, of the testis for the production of the spermatozoa. Because of that, what happened? The testis is descends from the abdomen to the intra-abdomen to the scrotum via the inguinal canal. Okay, that's why there is forms the deep inguinal ring, superficial inguinal ring. In shortly, it forms the inguinal canal because of a descent of the testis. Okay, by that we know because of that it also forms the some layers of the scrotum. okay, because of the descent of the testis. Okay, you can see here in this picture easily, this is a skin, okay, outside layer, then dartrous muscle, okay, then external spermatic fascia, cremaster muscle, then internal spermatic fascia. Okay, you can see here skin, external spermatic fascia, cremaster muscle and fascia, then the internal spermatic fascia, and this is the process vaginalis, or you can say the process vaginalis only. It will change and forms or it obliterate, okay, track of process vaginalis, and that process vaginalis now further afterwards convert as a that parietal and visceral layer of the tunica vaginalis. The process vaginalis is nothing but it is a continuation of a peritoneum only. Okay, during the when it is a testis is the intra abdominal organ, that it is covered by the peritoneum, by the parietal and visceral layer both, and that is along with the peritoneum it comes to the what scrotum. By after some days it forms the obliterated, okay, it that process vaginalis only convert as a tunica vaginalis and parietal and visceral tunica vaginalis. You can see here these are the muscles of the anterior abdominal wall. Okay, this is the transverse abdominis fascia, this is a transverse abdominis muscle, internal oblique muscle and external oblique muscle. Okay, you can go for the next slide. Okay, there you can see here this is a, I already showed the during the anatomy of a inguinal canal descent of the testis. Okay, you can in this see that, okay, this is a scrotum, okay, this is a scrotum, okay, and these are the layers of a scrotum. You can see this is a external oblique muscle, continuous, okay, and this is a transverse abdomen, internal oblique muscle, and this is a transverse abdominis muscle and fascia, and fascia, transverse abdominis fascia forms the what, tunica, internal spermatic fascia. Internal oblique muscle and transverse abdominis muscle forms the cremaster muscle and fascia, and external oblique muscles form the external spermatic fascia. Then this is the skin and superficial fascia or fascia of camper. Camper first, C comes first, then comes the S, camper and scarpa, that forms the dartrous muscle and fascia. Okay, in there is very important, you can see this is a peritoneum. Okay, this is a peritoneum, this is a testis, this is a gymnaculum, it is a gymnaculum, it attached to the scrotum, okay, wall of the scrotum. Because of contraction of this gymnaculum, testis descend into the scrotum, okay, and this is a covering of a peritoneum. Okay, this peritoneum comes along with the testis. You can see this is the what our process vaginalis. After birth, okay, after the complete descent of the testis into the scrotum, this process vaginalis, it is obliterated and forms the or convert this process vaginalis convert as a tunica vaginalis. Parietally, this towards the wall, this layer is from the parietal tunica vaginalis, and this towards the visceral, it forms the tunica vaginalis only, visceral layer of the tunica vaginalis. Okay, you can go for the next slide. Scrotum. Functions of a scrotum. Scrotum, it has the mainly, it is thermoregulation, because there is a temperature, okay, because of temperature, that it forms the, it helps to produces spermatozoa. Okay, because of that, that temperature is maintained in the scrotum. Okay, because of the production of the spermatozoa, that temperature maintained in the scrotum. That temperature mainly maintained by the dartrous muscle. Okay, function, there is a thermoregulation. First is the function is scrotum is meant the thermoregulation, because the temperature maintained, it helped in the production of a spermatozoa. Then sweat glands, it has the sweat glands that produce the sweats. Then it is a thermosensitive to the nerves, and it is also protection and supports the testes. This is the functions of a scrotum. One is thermoregulation, it has a sweat gland to produce the sweats, thermosensitive nerves, and it protection and the support of a testis. The abundance of a hair and sebaceous gland also make it a site of sebaceous cyst. Okay, as a scrotum is supplied by the widely separated dermatomes, that is from L1 to S3. Spinal anesthesia of the whole scrotum is difficult to achieve, because it also supplied by the S3 and L1. Okay, and some part of the pudendal nerve also. Due to laxity of a skin, and it is depends position of the scrotum is common site for the edema. We hear what happen, the attachment between the skin and dartrous muscle or external spermatic fascia, there is some laxity or loose attachment is there. Okay, because of that, there is have the much space between these two layers. Because of that, there is a chances of a formation of a collection of a fluid is there. Okay, due to this laxity of a skin and its dependent position of the scrotum, there is a common site for the edema. Okay, where the subcutaneous tissue is more or subcutaneous space is more, there is a chances of a edema is more. Here also, okay, the chances of a edema is more, because the skin is loosely attached to their dependent layers. Okay, can go for the next slide. The layers of the scrotum, there is the one formula or name is there. On that you can easily make out the layers of a scrotum. Okay, or you can easily remember the names of the scrotum. They are mainly surgically, there are the anatomically there are 5 layers of the scrotum, but surgically there are the 6 layers of the scrotum. Okay, you can easily make out the layers of the scrotum by this formula. There is that formula is, some dangerous Englishman called it the testis. Some dangerous Englishman called it the testis. S for skin, D for dartrous muscle and fascia. Englishman, E for external spermatic fascia, C for cremasteric fascia, I for internal spermatic fascia, and double T, it is for the tunica vaginalis and tunica albuginea. But there is up to internal spermatic fascia only we can consider as a scrotal wall. Okay, after that you open the internal spermatic fascia, you can open the testis. Okay, you can easily make or deliver outside the testis from the scrotum. Okay, in here one thing is that in surgically there is some difference is there. Where is the dartrous muscle is there and fascia is there, there is the one fascia. Okay, that fascia is Colles fascia. Okay, and that fascia is Colles fascia. Okay, Colles. You can go for the next slide. You can see here in this also, this is the skin, this is the dartrous muscle, this is the, you can say as a cremaster fascia. Okay, or superficial fascia Okay, in here also this fascia is say as a Colles fascia. Okay, and cremaster muscle, and then you can see as a external spermatic fascia. Okay, this is external spermatic fascia, this is internal spermatic fascia, it is a tunica vaginalis. Okay, this is a tunica albuginea. Can go for the next slide. Okay, can easily make out the layers of a scrotum. Okay, outermost it is a skin, then dartrous muscle. S for some. S is some, dangerous, policeman. Okay, sorry, Englishman. Okay, some dangerous Englishman called. Okay, it for internal, the testis. S for here can say layers of skin, dartrous muscle, external spermatic fascia, cremaster muscle and fascia. This is a cremaster muscle and this is a internal spermatic fascia, and here we can got the tunica vaginalis. Okay, these are the layers of a scrotum. You can see here in this picture we can make out during the anatomy of inguinal canal. I only that time also I will explain how the what is the relation between the inguinal canal and the scrotum. Okay, there is some herniations are there are some hydrocele are there. Okay, they have the bibinocele. Okay, or funicular hernia, or there is congenital hydrocele. In that some types are there. Okay, all is have the relation because there is some relation between the inguinal canal and the testis or scrotum. Because of that the sometime hydrocele is also extend up to the inguinal canal, or there sometime congenital hydrocele is always has a connection between the inguinal canal and scrotum or the testis. Okay, you can see here in this is a skin, this is a skin. Okay, then subcutaneous tissue or fascia of camper and scarpa, it forms the dartrous muscle and their fascia. Okay, then this is a external oblique muscle, then external oblique muscle forms the or aponeurosis forms the external spermatic fascia. Okay, then internal, this is a deep ring, then this is here you will come conjoint and I already explained. Okay, this is the internal oblique muscle that continues and forms the what cremaster muscle and fascia. Okay, and this is a transverse abdominis muscle also, and this is a transverse abdominis muscle fascia. Okay, muscle and fascia, and that forms the internal oblique internal spermatic fascia. Okay, and this is a peritoneum. Okay, this is a peritoneum, and that peritoneum forms the process vaginalis. That process vaginalis obliterated and that is converted as a tunica vaginalis. This is a tunica vaginalis, and this is a parietal tunica vaginalis, and this is a visceral. In between that color there is some fluid. Okay, and that excessive fluid collection in between these two layers is say as a hydrocele. Okay, like that there is a formation of a scrotum. Skin, outer skin, superficial fascia and deep fascia forms the dartrous muscle and their fascia, and external spermatic fascia, it is formed by the external oblique muscle or aponeurosis. You can say as a aponeurosis. Okay, and internal cremaster muscle and fascia, it formed by the internal oblique muscle. And transverse abdominal fascia, it forms the internal spermatic fascia. Okay, you can see here this is a layers of the spermatic cord. I already explained in the last class. We can go for the next slide. Okay, in this picture you can see as this is a skin, this is a fatty layer, okay, of a anterior abdominal wall, and in that camper and camperous fascia. It also forms the what? A camperous fascia. It forms the what? Dartrous muscle. Okay, you can see here and this here. Okay, and this is a fascia of Scarpa that forms the what? Dartrous fascia. Okay, the camper and Scarpa only that forms the what? Muscle and fascia. And this is what? Our external oblique muscle. This is the forms the external spermatic fascia, cremaster muscle, internal spermatic fascia. In this picture you can easily make out. This is the superficial fascia and camper. Okay, this is a camper. Okay, it forms the, you can see here in this, it forms the dartrous smooth muscle and fascia. Okay, and this camper, it is the innermost Scarpa. Okay, and this is a external oblique aponeurosis. That forms the what? External spermatic fascia, and the internal oblique muscle that forms the cremaster muscle and fascia, internal spermatic fascia, it forms the transverse abdominalis fascia, and the extraperitoneal fat and fascia, it forms the tunica vaginalis, and that obliterated, and that tunica process vaginalis is converted as a tunica vaginalis, and that tunica vaginalis forms the parietal and visceral tunica vaginalis layers of a spermaous or what? A scrotum. This is about the layers of a a spermatic cord and the layers of the scrotum. I already explained scrotum. It contains the testis, epididymis, and the lower part of the spermatic cord. Okay, these are the contents of the scrotum. Here also I already explained this picture in the anatomy of a inguinal canal. Okay, skin of the scrotum, dartrous muscle is a continuation of a superficial fascia and deep fascia of the anterior abdominal wall, and external oblique aponeurosis forms the external spermatic fascia, and internal oblique aponeurosis or muscle forms the cremaster fascia and muscle. Okay, then fascia transversalis forms the internal spermatic fascia, and process vaginalis is converted or obliterated and forms the tunica vaginalis. Now contents of the scrotum. One is testis, epididymis, and lower part of the spermatic cord. Now blood supply of the scrotum. It is mainly by the superficial external pudendal artery, deep external pudendal artery, cremaster branches of the inferior epigastric artery, scrotal branches of the internal pudendal artery. These are the blood supply of a this is a blood supply of a scrotum. One is a superficial external pudendal, deep external pudendal, cremastric branch of the inferior epigastric artery, and scrotal branch of a internal pudendal artery. This is a blood supply of a scrotum. Now nerve supply by the L1 of the spinal cord through the ilioinguinal nerve and the genital branch of the genitofemoral nerve, and S3 of the spinal cord through the posterior scrotal branch of the pudendal nerve. Nerves are ilioinguinal nerve. It also separates into the inguinal canal through the comes from the inguinal canal through the superficial inguinal ring and supplies the skin of upper scrotum and medial thigh and via the anterior scrotal nerve. Genitofemoral nerve, it is a branch. Genital branch supplies the cremaster muscle, receives branches of iliohypogastric nerve. Femoral branch supplies the medial portion of thigh. Cremaster reflex, that is scratch medial thigh, causes scrotum to contract. This cremaster reflex is very important during the diagnosis of the torsion of the testis and difference between the orchitis. Okay. Now we can go for the anatomy of a testis. Okay. Testes are also called as a testicles, are two oval fight-shaped organs in the male reproductive system, and they are contained in a sac of skin. Okay, that is nothing but a scrotum. Okay, I already explained. Okay, descent of the testis from intra-abdominal to the extra-abdominal or outside the abdominal. Okay, in that we can go for the introduction, function, structures, blood supply, venous drainage, lymphatic drainage, nerve supply, and anomalies of a testis. Okay, introduction. Testicle. Testis, it is from Latin. Testis means it is a witness. Okay, in Latin it says a witness. Why it is says a witness, I don't know, but it in Latin testis means witness. The testicle word derived from the Latin word, that is testicles. The testes are the male gonads located in the scrotal sac. It is paired ovoid reproductive glands. It is suspended in the scrotum by the spermatic cord. The left testis usually lies more inferiorly than the right testis because there is some blood supply is different in between the right testis and left testis. Okay, because of that the left testis usually lies more inferiorly than the right testis. Now already told during the descent of the testis there are some factors responsible for the descent. Why it is need for descent? Because to maintain the temperature or thermoregulation, because that produce the spermatozoa or produce the sperm. Okay, because of that there is testis descent from the intra-abdominal to the scrotum. There is some hormones or differential growth of the body wall. Okay, then second one is the increase intra-abdominal pressure and the temperature, and then some hormones that are produced by the testis. Another one is very important, because of this only testis comes into the scrotum. That is nothing but a contraction of a gubernaculum. Okay, it is a one band-like structure that pulls the testis to the intra-abdominal to the directly into the scrotum. If this gubernaculum, it also has some roots. Okay, because of that roots it forms the ectopic testis. Okay, that is present not only in the scrotum, they are also present in the different place of the normal place of the testis than different place. That place is says a ectopic testis. Okay, these are the factors they are responsible for the descent of the intestines. Now you can go for the external structures of the testes. The testes are suspended outside the body in the sac. Okay, that sac is say as a scrotum. Okay, the scrotum hangs outside the body in front of the pelvic region near the upper thigh. Okay, and this is a sac of skin and some layers. I already explained the scrotum. The left testis lies slightly lower than the right. Now, functions of the testis. One is produce the sperm or spermatogenesis, and it produces some androgens and primarily testosterone. Okay. Now, can go for the morphology or external features of the testis. It has the two poles, two borders, and two surfaces. Before that, it is a oval in shape. Okay, testis, it is in a oval in shape. It has a two poles. One is upper pole and one is the lower pole. We also say as a superior pole or inferior pole. It has the two borders. One is the anterior border, another one is the posterior border, and it has the two surfaces, medial surface or lateral surface. Okay, these are the some morphology or external features of a testis. That is, it has a two poles, upper and lower, or superior or inferior, two borders, anterior and posterior. See, this is a superior and this is a inferior. This is the anterior border and this is a posterior border. To the posterior border there is a attachment of a what? Epididymis is there. Okay, and towards the median raphe there is a median surface and another one is lateral surface. There is very easy to identify the medial surface and lateral surface by the sinuses of the epididymis. Okay, sinus of the epididymis is always present at the lateral surface of the testis. Okay, or towards the lateral surface of the testis. Okay, and it is a very important during the surgery, and also when you putting the testis into the scrotum. Okay, after the surgery. Okay, that time the sinus is must be towards the lateral side. Okay, we can go for the next slide. Shape, it is a oval and it is vertically 4 centimeter, transversely it is 2.5 centimeter, and antero-posteriorly it is a 3 centimeter. This is like that, 4 centimeter, like this 2 centimeter, and antero-posteriorly this is a 3 centimeter. Then external structures of the testis. The testis is covered with the multi-layered tunica vaginalis. Tunica. Okay. Here is very important. Just to add the tunica vaginalis, outermost layer. Tunica albuginea is a middlemost layer, and tunica vasculosa is a innermost layer. Okay. Multi-layered of tunica. It facilitates the blood supply to the testis and creates partition between the sperm producing regions of the testis. There are 3 layers of the tunica vaginalis, tunica layers. Okay, that is innermost is tunica vasculosa, middle layer is tunica albuginea. Because of the testis color, white color, okay, it is because of this tunica albuginea only. Because of this tunica albuginea, testis will look like a white color. Okay, the tunica means it is in Latin, in tunica means that it is a typical clothing in the ancient world. Because of that clothing or tunica, a type of clothing, because of that it is say as a covering. Because of that it is maybe it say as a covering. Okay, but in some dictionary say as a tunica means is a beginning or starting. Okay, these are the layers of the testis. Okay, now we can go for the outermost layer of the testis, that is nothing but a tunica vaginalis. And that what you can see color or color of the testis, okay, or white color of the testis, whitish color of the testis, it is mainly because of a color of a tunica albugina. Okay, that makes the testis look like a white color. Okay, now we can go for the tunica vaginalis. Tunica vaginalis, it is nothing but a it is formed by the process vaginalis. Process vaginalis is nothing but it is a formed or derived from the peritoneum. Okay, the tunica vaginalis is derived from the peritoneum. Okay, means when the testis in the intra-abdomen, that time the peritoneum is covers the testis. Okay, because of the descent of the testis during that period, the peritoneum also comes to the scrotum. Okay, and that what peritoneum portion is comes to the scrotum, that peritoneal part is say as a process vaginalis. Okay, afterwards what happens, this process vaginalis is converted or turned or it is can say as a obliterated and forms the tunica vaginalis. Okay, the vaginalis, and that the what are the parietal layer of the peritoneum and visceral layer of the peritoneum, that two layers, parietal and visceral layer, that layers only forms the parietal external layer of the tunica vaginalis, and visceral layer, that is the internal layer of the tunica vaginalis forms. Okay, the tunica vaginalis is derived from the peritoneum. It is a lower expanded part of the process vaginalis. It is lies within the spermatic fascia, that is in the internal spermatic fascia. Okay, it covers the anterior, medial and lateral surface of each testis. Normally, just before birth, it becomes shut off from the upper part of the processes and the peritoneal cavity. The tunica vaginalis is thus a closed sac that is invaginated and forms behind by the testis. Okay, in this you can say as a this is a visceral layer of the tunica vaginalis, and this is the external or parietal layer of the tunica vaginalis. Okay, tunica vaginalis overlining the tunica albugina. Okay, the tunica vaginalis covers the tunica albugina. Tunica albugina covers the tunica vasculosa. Okay, the tunica vaginalis, it has the two layers of tunica vaginalis, that is visceral, that is overlies the tunica albugina. Okay, then parietal, it is lies the scrotal cavity. You can see here, this is the testis and this is the process vaginalis, or you can say as a tunica vaginalis, and this is innermost layer is say as a visceral layer of tunica vaginalis, and this is outermost is say as a parietal layer of the tunica vaginalis. And there is a high investigation of the tunica vaginalis on the posterior wall between the testis and the scrotum. Okay, like that. If there is persistent or remnant process vaginalis forms the congenital hydrocele. Okay, here there is obliteration of a tunica vaginalis has happened here in this. Okay, can go for the next slide. The tunica vaginalis is covered with the internal spermatic fascia. That internal spermatic fascia is covered with the cremaster muscle, which arises from the internal oblique muscle. The external spermatic fascia overlies the cremaster muscle. You can see this is the tunica albuginea. Like that, this is whitish color, or what we can see, this is color is because of the tunica albuginea. This tunica albuginea is covered by the visceral layer of the tunica albuginea, vaginalis. Okay, and this layer, this tunica albuginea layer, it densely or very firmly attached to the testis, and it is also encases the testis. The tunica albuginea, okay, it is a middle layer of the testis. This is a dense layer of the tissue which encases the testis, connects to the layers of fibers which surrounds the epididymis also. It also extends into the testis, creating partitions between the seminal tuberculous. See, this is the tunica vaginalis, and this is what you can say, this is the tunica albuginea. This is also forms the partition in between the seminal tubules. These tubules or seminal tubules, okay, or duct, okay, or lobules, okay, this what dense tunica albuginea, it also forms the what tunica partitions between the seminal tubules, or you can say as a lobules. Okay, this is one whole one thing is as a lobule. Okay, and these are what coiled structures, you can say as a seminal tubules. Okay, coiled, okay, structures, you can what you say as a tubules. Then we can go for the innermost layer of the testis, that is a tunica vasculosa. Vasculosa, vasculosa means it contains the blood supply or vessels in that. Okay, it is very firmly attached, or it can't, we can differentiate it. Or tunica albuginea also we can differentiate, it also forms the partitions in the testis. But vasculosa, how we can, vasculosa means it contains the vessels. Okay, it is the inner layer of the tunica covered by the tunica albuginea, consists of blood vessels and connective tissue, facilitates the blood supply to the testis. You can see here in this picture. Okay, this is the parietal layer of the tunica vaginalis, this is the visceral layer of the tunica vaginalis. Here you can see here, this is this one, this is say as a tunica albuginea. Okay, and that innermost layer, this one, okay, this is say as a tunica vasculosa, this layer. Okay, innermost layer. Okay, that contains the blood vessels. Okay, here one is the structures you can know, identify or keep in mind. Okay, this is the tunica vaginalis, this is the albuginea that makes the partition between the seminal tubules, okay, or in between the lobules. These coiled structures are say as a seminiferous tubules. Here only spermatozoas are formed, and what you can say the straight structure, okay, that are say straight tubules, and these straight tubules all are joints together and forms the one bunch like structure, that is say as a rete testis in the mediastinum of the testis. Here also you can comes mediastinum, okay, but in the thorax also comes the mediastinum. Mediastinum means in general, okay, it is a gap between the two structures, and that gap it allows to pass the some vessels or some important structures, that is say as a mediastinum. Okay, in general. Okay, in general, mediastinum is famous for the in the lungs, or sorry, in the thorax, okay, or in the chest region. Okay, it is a gap between the two lungs. Okay, and that allows the position for the heart also, and some vessels also, and some esophagus also, some throats also. Here also mediastinum means it is allows to pass the some structures, okay, That's why it is said as a mediastinum. Mediastinum, it contains the rates of a testis. Okay, rate of testis, how it is formed? Here there is a straight tubules of the seminal fluids are joined together and forms, and that joined together rate of the testis further converted as the efferent ductules, and that efferent ductules joins to the head of the epididymis. Okay, now we can go for the internal structures of the testis. Okay, that is seminiferous tubules. They are lies within the testis and are separated by the partitions, which are the extensions of the tunica albugina. Okay, the partitions divide the testis into lobules, which contain the seminiferous tubules. Okay, that these are the lobules. This is a lobules. Okay, whole one thing it is as a seminiferous lobules, or you can say as a lobules, and these lobules contains the seminiferous tubules, and that tubules are separated by the partitions by the tunica albugina. Okay, then mediastinum. The mediastinum, it is a region of the tissue which connects the rate of testis and supports the blood vessels and lymphatic system to the testis. That is said as a mediastinum. Okay, and that mediastinum is allows the this part is said as a mediastinum because it allows the some blood supply also and gives the some or connections to the rate of the testis and the epididymis. That's why this is outlet and inlet of the testis. Okay, that's why it is said as a mediastinum. Okay, now straight tubules, the connect seminiferous tubules to the rate of testis. Okay, the straight tubules, they connect the seminiferous tubules to the rate of the testis. Then you can say this is the seminiferous tubules, this is the straight tubules, these are the seminiferous lobules, and that lobules are divided or partitioned by the tunica albugina. This is the tunica albugina, and this is the rate of the testis, where the seminiferous tubules, okay, or straight tubules open into series of channels, that is say as a rate of testis, and that facilitates the transport of sperm from the testis to the sperm transport duct of the penis. Okay, this is as a rate of the testis. Now efferent ducts. Efferent ducts are present in between the epididymis and the rate of the testis. This is the mediastinum of the testis, and this is the rate of the testis, and these are the efferent ducts. The efferent ducts is present in between the head of the epididymis and the rate of the testis. Okay, the efferent ducts located between the rate of the testis and the epididymis. They connect the testis to the male ducts and facilitate the transport of sperm from the testis. Now we can go for the epididymis. This is a very important structure. Okay, and it is look like a worm. Okay, it is a elongated structure on the posterior border. Okay, along with the posterior border of the testis and posterior surface of the testis. Okay, you can say this is the anterior border, this is the anterior border, and this is a posterior border or posterior surface. Along with it is elongated structures on the posterior surface of the testis. It has three parts: head, body, and tail. Okay, and vasa efferentia are small ducts of the testis which is joining at the head of the epididymis. And this epididymis is continuing as a ductus deferens or vas deferens. The epididymis comma shape. How it is look epididymis? Comma. How you put the comma in the during the writing, that same like that epididymis is a comma shape. You can see here comma shaped. Okay, you can see here this is a comma shape, and it is made up of highly coiled tubes that act as a reservoir for the spermatozoa. Okay, the reservoir for the sperm. Parts: head, body and tail. The head connected to the upper pole of the testis. Okay, this is a head connected to the upper pole of the testis. Body is along with the posterior border of the testis, and tail at the lower pole of the testis. Head connects to the upper pole of the testis by the efferent ductules. Okay, there is a head of the epididymis. This is a body, and this is the narrowest part of the epididymis is as a tail. Okay, in between the body of the epididymis and the testis, there is one groove is there. That groove or sinus means it is a blind track. Okay, groove is there. That groove is say as a sinus of the epididymis, and this is sinus of the epididymis is always present at the lateral surface of the testis. Okay, and testis epididymis also has the one small protrusion. Okay, that is as the appendix of the epididymis, and also like that testis also has, and that is as a appendix of the testis. Okay, you can go for the next slide. The epididymis is a firm structure lying posterior to the testis with the vas deferens lying on its medial side. It has a expanded upper head, body and pointed tail inferiorly. Laterally, a distinct groove lies between the testis and epididymis, which is lined by inner visceral layer of the tunica vaginalis and is called sinus of the epididymis. You can see in this groove is as a sinus of the epididymis. You can see this is the one sinuses. This is the head of the epididymis, and this is the epididymis of the appendix of epididymis. This is the head at the upper pole of the testis, and this is the body of the testis, and this is the lower pole of the testis. Here is the tapering tail of the testis. Okay, and this is a sinus, means groove between the body and testis. There is a groove is there. That groove is a sinus of the epididymis. Okay, and here is a afferent ductules of the testis. Okay, then vas ductus deferens or vas deferens is a muscular duct that transports the spermatozoa from the tail of the epididymis to the ejaculatory duct. The passing through the deep inguinal ring between the ureter and ejaculatory duct, it expands into the ampulla. Then ejaculatory duct that penetrates through the prostate gland to connect the prostatic urethra. Now you can go for the blood supply. Blood supply by the testicular artery and cremasteric arteries mainly. Okay, you can say, and then venous drainage by the papniferous plexus and testicular vein. There is some difference is there in the venous drainage. In right side it is drained by the testicular vein, but that is a branch of the inferior vena cava. Okay, and in the left side it is drained by the testicular vein only, on papniferous plexus and testicular vein, but this is a branch, or it is a drain to the where left renal vein. You can say this is a renal. Because of this is a perpendicular or 90 degree. Okay, because of 90 degree perpendicular, there is a more common varicocele is more common to the left side, because of the it is directly drained into the left renal vein, and here is some obstruction or what to drain, there is put a more pressure, okay, as compared to the right side. Because of that, there is a stasis of some blood is there into the left testicular vein. Because of that, okay, there is a chance of what varicose vein to the left side is more common than the right side. Okay, venous drainage. The testicular venous plexus is in the form of network known as a papniferous plexus. Then right testicular vein drain into the inferior vena cava and left testicular vein drain into the renal vein at the left side. Lymphatic drainage by the inguinal, superficial inguinal nodes that drain and also by the lumbar lymph nodes. Then anomalies of the testis. There is absence of a testis, undescended testis, cryptorchidism, ectopic testis, anteverted testis, and inverted testis. This is the testicular descent. There is maybe some chances of the testis at the testicular descent in the lumbar region at the 2nd month of the fetal life, in the iliac fossa at the 3rd month, deep inguinal ring at the 7th month, superficial inguinal ring at the 7th month, 7th and 8th month, and scrotum at the 9th month. Undescended testis means testis is not descend completely into the scrotum. That condition is said as a undescended testis. In this, one of the testis has failed to descend to the scrotum and is retained at the point along the normal path of its descent. Ectopic testis, it means in the testis failed to descend into the scrotum and it is derived from its normal path of descent. It may be in the abdominal, it may be in the deep inguinal ring, it may be in the inguinal ring, inguinal canal, it may be in the superficial inguinal ring, or it may be peripenile root of the penis or peripenile region, it may be in the femoral canal, it may be in the transverse scrotal canal, and it may be in the perineal. Okay, this depends on there is root of the testis. Then disease related to the testis. Then hydrocele. Hydrocele means there is a collection of a fluid in between the tunica vaginalis of the testis or layers of the tunic, means parietal and visceral layer of the testis. There is abnormal collection of a serous fluid. In that also there is 2 types, primary and secondary. Then hematocele means collection of blood in the tunica vaginalis, that is said as a hematocele. Then varicocele. Means varicosity of a veins of a spermatic cord, and mainly veins of papniferous plexus become dilated and elongated and tortuous. Then testicular torsion. The twisting of a spermatic cord, it is said as a testicular torsion. The torsion causes venous drainage and arterial obstruction. Due to this, there is necrosis of the testis may occur. Then spermatocele. There is a collection of a spermatozoa in the retention cyst and form as a retention cyst. It may be in the epididymis, it may be in the spermatic cord. It may be, most of the time it is present near to the head of the epididymis. Then epididymal cyst. It is a cyst present anywhere in the epididymis. Cancer of the testis. Okay, thank you very much. This is about the scrotum and the testis, anatomy of the testis.